Namaste. With this welcome from our founder, Sri Harikiran Vadlamani Garu, we have almost inaugurated this conference. As my role as the curator of this conference and the other conferences, let me speak about the concept of this conference itself, which actually is already circulated. Most of you have read our concept note in which we have articulated our background, our thinking behind this conference. But I wanted to focus today on one idea that Puranas is not a plural. Purana is a singular word. It's a project. Purana is a project. Narayanam namaskritya naranchaiva narottamam deving saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraet. This particular shloka, this particular verse, we find in almost every Purana. And this gives you some insights for those who are not aware. Please note that the word Jayam is being used in every Purana as part of this shloka. So the popular idea that Jayam is the word used as a synonym for only Mahabharata and Jayam is the name of Mahabharata is misplaced. If you look at the internal evidence from the text scripts of the Puranas, you see that the entire Purana project is being called as Jayam. I would like to use the word project. It's a project, Purana project. And we use words like Ashtadasha Mahapuranas, and then we use words like Upapuranas. But all together, Mahapuranas and Upapuranas, whatever is the number, 18 or even more, the whole project was looked at as a project of Puranas. And this project was a free, unorganized project, but very well organized. And like the entire Vedic literature, like the Vedas themselves, this Purana project is also a self-conscious project, in the sense that the project talks about itself in the introductory part, the prefatory part of every Purana, whether it is Mahapurana or Upapurana. You have a formulaic, you have a framework of how the Puranas begin. That is where you get this Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam. And there you have this shloka, Itihasa Purana Bhyam Vedam Samapabhrumhayet. Vivet Yalpashruta Vedo Ma I am Praharediti. This fellow will beat me. This fellow will damage me. Veda is afraid of an Alpashruta person, less learned person. So this project is a project of only the Vedic system, Vedic tradition. And there is a Veda Samupabhrumhana that is happening. The Veda is being elaborated, popularized, and articulated in a very popular way for the popular purpose through the project of Puranas. Like the Veda itself, it is also self-conscious in the sense that it not only in the prefatory part, in the introductory part, inside the Purana also, most of the Puranas talk about Puranas. Most of the Puranas have classifications of Puranas. Some Puranas classify them with the criterion of sectarian traditions like Shaivite and Vaishnavite. Some of them classify them in the on the criterion of gunas, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas, satvika Puranas, rajasika Puranas, and tamasika Puranas. And some of them talk about how the Purana project itself is going on, what is the purpose of that project. And in most of the frameworks, the introductory frameworks, the prefatory frameworks of these Puranas, you see a conversational strategy of communication. There is a speaker sitting as the Pravachana Karta, and there is an audience. And this Purana comes to you in the prefatory part as a conversation between these people. And this conversational strategy, which we find right from the Upanishads, for that matter, in some of the Vedic mantras itself, in the mantra bhaga itself, is a very useful educating strategy. And the Purana project itself is an educating project. It was the Indic Academy of that time, a very big Indic Academy, bigger than the present Indic Academy. It was a big project, educating project. That is why you see this encyclopedic nature of these Puranas. This word encyclopedic literature was used by Princeton University professor of comparative literature called Northrop Frye in his book called Anatomy of Criticism. He uses the word encyclopedic literature, and as an example, he mentions Mahabharata. Of all the books, Mahabharata, of all the Itihasa Puranas, Mahabharata, you don't imagine that to be part of the Purana project because you just set it aside as an Itihasa, not as a Purana. And also, you don't see it as a book of Indic knowledge systems, Shastras, and all that. But an American professor was able to see that it was part of an encyclopedic project. And he was talking about in that book the evolutionary process of literature, how it evolves and how it leads to works which are encyclopedic in nature. But I'm sure the whole idea to Northrop Frye has come only after looking at books like Mahabharata. And we must tell Northrop Frye, if he does not know, that Mahabharata is only a small speck in the whole project, a huge project called the Purana project, which is the encyclopedic project. And the idea of creating not only encyclopedias, but popularizing of technical knowledge, which we are actually demanding for nowadays from the intelligentsia of the country. People who think that they are from the grassroots, from the masses, demanding from the masses, they keep asking the science and technology places in various universities and laboratories and technological places that you guys are working in these areas, but you are not sharing what you're doing with the public in a very popular way. You are not helping them learn. But if you look at the Purana project, the very goal of this Purana project, as articulated in the introductory parts, in the prefatory parts, in every Purana, without exception, is the purpose is to bring the technical knowledge, to bring the Shastraic knowledge, to bring the rigorous knowledge, which is created by the sages, by the rishis, by those scientists, by those technical researchers, technocrat researchers called munis, by the highly imaginative researchers, innovative researchers called rishis, who were Krantadarshis, completely, madly, crazily lost in the innovation and investigation, living completely secluded in a forest and bringing out new facts rigorously, scientifically from out of their research, but sharing every one of those highly advanced acquisitions of knowledge. I'm using the word acquisition because we use the word in Sahana Bhavatu Shanti Mantra, Tejasvino Adhiyata. We want to get control over all that is Tejasvi, all that is glorious. So these rishis commanded everything that is glorious, and they created that rigorous knowledge in the form of Shastra books, but at the same time, they had the compassion towards the common public to share it in the form of the Purana project, in the form of Ashtadasha Mahapuranas and all the Upapuranas. The principle in the Hindu tradition, in the Vaidika tradition, that the goal is available to everyone, but the path should be different depending on the abilities of the person that wants to reach there. If there is no physical facility in a person to traverse a particular path, if he is physically challenged, then he has to be given another tool to reach the same goal as all others who are physically more facilitated than him. So that principle is applied here in the case of the Purana project. The Purana project was intended to make the goal of jnana, dharma, brahmajnana, dharmajnana, moksha jnana, and every jnana that is possible, every jnana that is explorable, ananta vai vedaha. So all these ananta, unending, unlimited, explorable areas, all that knowledge, for that to reach the masses, for that to reach the masses that are not facilitated to go through the rigorous technical works in the Shastra form, the Purana project has been created. And the false impression that Puranas are there only to create some concocted myths, only stories, those stories also with a particular motivated intention for some purpose. All I'm using these words keeping Arya Samaj in mind. In the 19th century, very good, well-intended, a person with good intentions, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, who founded Arya Samaj, highly committed Indic person he was, and he had patriotic intentions for the Hindu nation, Vedic nation, this Bharat. But over-influenced by the scienticism of that period, he had a negative opinion about the Purana project. He thought that it is a Sanatani project. He thought that it was not progressive enough. And he even attributed motives to this project. He is not alone. There are people coming from a very wide spectrum of anti-Purana thinking from different rationales. But what they did not realize is that the Purana project itself is a project of knowledge systems, not stories. Stories are just part of the whole project. And stories is a strategy of popular communication. Puranic narratives are like, I keep giving this example to my students. I keep asking them if a toothpaste advertisement gives you some demons inside the mouth and shows them as troubling you, and then the toothpaste goes in and kills them. What he is trying to do is he is trying to popularly communicate the idea that could have been communicated in the form of a huge paper that explains how the allergens inside the throat are produced, and the allergens are troubling you, and there is an antihistaminic effect in the chemicals that are included in the toothpaste and all that. And I always keep asking them whether they would prefer such a kind of a pharmacochemical paper which explains the whole process of pharmacokinesis, of how the drug works, or this very simple narrative form of how the demons inside the throat are being killed. Asura Samhara. Nevertheless, small asuras, little asuras, but those asuras are being killed by a particular deva. That kind of a narrative that is being created, which is more useful. Obviously, anyone prefers that kind of a popular communication. And when Puranas are doing this in the form of Puranic narratives, communicating the Indic knowledge systems that are rigorously communicated, rigorously articulated, rigorously drafted in the form of sutra books like Brahma Sutras and Jaimini Sutras and Vaisheshika Sutras, and sometimes Karikas like Sankhya Karikas, and all these rigorous works, all those are being articulated in the form of not just conversational portions of these Puranas, even through the narratives. Narratives are such a strategy, a popularizing strategy. So this, my friends, you have to take door to door, make people realize, make people understand that Purana project is a compassionate project. Purana project is a project from the intelligentsia to the popular masses. And Purana project is a project of knowledge systems, Indic knowledge systems. That was not articulated till now properly. So Indic Academy thought that this aspect has to be highlighted. That is why we chose this topic for this conference. And when we made an announcement of this project, there were some professor friends of us who said, oh, Puranas is a very popular topic. People have taken this up. Many conferences have happened, seminars have happened. And I asked them, okay, if the topic that we have chosen, the Indic knowledge systems inside Puranas, has already been chosen by someone, please share, so that we can get connected with the paper presenters there and we can invite them and all that. Till now, no one has come back. Till now, no one has come back with with the information of a conference which has already taken place on this particular topic of Indic knowledge systems inside the Puranas. Projecting Purana project as a project of popularizing Indic knowledge systems to facilitate those people who are not equipped enough to go to the rigorously communicated Shastra works. This has not been done. This is for the first time, not only in India, even abroad, globally. This is for the first time that this kind of a seminar, this kind of a conference, this kind of a symposium is happening, that Puranas are being projected not as books of concocted myths, books of popularizing Indic knowledge systems. This we are very fortunate, we are lucky that we got a very good response from the scholars. There is a highly good diversity of topics. As usual, our collaborator, one of the most fruitful collaborations we have been having is from the Kuppuswamy Shastri Sanskrit Research Institute. There is a very big number, good number of papers that are being presented from that institute now, particularly in very interesting areas like geomorphology, water, and all these areas. They have done very good amount of research in that area, and they have come up with their papers here. And we have the first session is going to be on the methodological issues. Maitri ji, as usual, she always brings to the table wonderful points. She is bringing the question of the Pramanya of Puranas alongside Vedas. And there is another, in the same methodological session, we have a contemporary topic of the Pramanya of Puranas for historical research, whether Puranas can be useful for writing history, how they are useful, how they change the perspective of history. These two papers are going to be part of the methodological session. And we have to also acknowledge that a great inspiration behind this conference has been some authors who have been coming up from very interestingly, coincidentally, during the same time, we got many authors, Ganesh Swaminathanji and Sai Papineni, Siddhartha Chabraji, all these people, one after the other, they are coming up with very good books on Puranas, with the research that they have done on Puranas. And the theme that is cut across all these works mostly is cosmology. And that's an important area of contribution from Puranas. That is going to be the next session. And the next big session is going to be on the Dharma, Raja Dharma, and values, and guiding personal life, personalities also. And there is going to be a very big session on geomorphology. Actually, Sai Papineni ji, the author of Hymns of Harappa, is going to be presenting in that session how historically that is useful. Geomorphological studies inside the Puranas are useful for history writing, he is going to cover. And many of the KSRI researchers and one other researcher, non-KSRI researcher, are also going to talk about geomorphological and geological and water and other environment, climate related issues inside Puranas in that session. And there is going to be a session on various sampradayas like Shaivism, Advaita, Dvaita, and there are shastras like Yoga, Sankhya, Ayurveda, all these shastras inside the Puranas. And there is also going to be a session on aesthetics and literature and related areas. That is going to be the last session, the concluding session that is going to be tomorrow morning. So we have a diversity of topics, very good diversity of topics. Fortunately, the response has been so good that we got very good number of scholars with a diversity of coverage of topics. And with this, I am confident that we'll be projecting Purana project as a big project. And the principal investigator of this project, Vyasa, who is also the principal investigator, the chief of the project of Vyasa itself. Vyasa is classification. The word Vyasa means classification, and he was called Veda Vyasa because he was classifying Vedas. So he was the biggest collector, classifier, organizer of Vedas, Vedangas, Shastras, and he was the head of the popularizing project, popularizing of Vaidika knowledge. We are funding a small short-term research project Sneha Nagarkar is doing that project. She is showing how Bauddha Jaina Puranas are imitation of this Purana project from the Vaidika side, and why they needed on the Bauddha and Jaina side, why they needed such a project. We are funding a short-term research project. It is all halfway through. She's very soon going to come up with that book. So that friends, please take from door to door, tell people that Puranas are a technical knowledge popularizing project. Okay, so with this, I think I should leave the dais for the keynote address.